Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the Treasury Department and you and unions and a report from the Treasury Department that might surprise you. We're going to go over the general tone of the report, and then we are going to compare you, if you aren't in a union, to your colleague who is. So, the report, the interesting part. And this report is about how to bring back the middle class. The decline in intergenerational mobility may be the single trend that best encapsulates the pervasive sense of the deterioration of the middle class. So basically, the issue with the middle class is that none of the middle class is becoming upper class. That where you're at, where whatever class you are in, that's what your kids are going to be in. And Yellen had to say this: these findings challenge arguments that unions hold back growth. Unions could contribute to reversing the stark increase in inequality we've seen in recent decades, promoting economy-wide growth. Economy-wide growth. How would it do that? The difference between you and your union colleague kind of spells it out. They are paid 10 to 15% more than you are. They are 5 times more likely to have a retirement with a guaranteed monthly payout. You know what that means for your kids? They're not taking care of you when they're older, so they can get ahead. Your union colleague is more likely to have paid sick leave, subsidized commuting, know when their schedule is ahead of time, which that's a big deal when you really think about it, especially if you have kids. They also are more likely to have medical care. You know, something that can be very devastating in the United States as far as the costs. And those costs might prohibit anything that you save from being handed down to your kids. The other thing about this is that even if you aren't in a union, you benefit from it. You benefit from your union colleagues because the company you work for that isn't unionized, well, it has to kind of compete, at least try, boost wages, maybe benefits in places that aren't unionized. Not to the same level, obviously, and that's what the report found. But if there weren't unions, you'd be even worse off. It goes back to that whole thing, you know. Divided you beg, united you bargain. This report, and there's more to it, it's definitely worth reading. It's worth reading the articles. If you're not somebody who likes to read dry stuff, it's worth reading some of the articles that are out there about this. Because it paints a very clear picture of something. Mainly that when you think about politicians and what they promise you, well, we're going to restore the middle class. That's a very conservative talking point. Go back to the way things were. According to the experts in the field, the only way to do that, the most effective way to do that, would be to embrace unions. You have a bunch of politicians out there that like to take these things that your union colleague is more likely to have than you are and use them as something to say, oh, well, we'll get that fixed if you vote for me. And then that politician is anti-union. Let's be clear. after this report, after this study, after all of the information that we have seen, after everything that has gone on the last few years, when politicians are anti-union, you need to remember they're not actually anti-union. They're anti-you, because it's you that's paid less. It's you that has less benefits. It's you that is so easily replaced. They are betters, those politicians who say anything to get your vote. Well, I mean, all they really have to do is strengthen protections for unions, because then you could protect yourself. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.